Hi Crafty creators! Welcome back to Flosstube! As always, you guys are such genuine gems for joining me today. Thank you so much for coming along to visit. A big welcome back to all of my returning subscribers and viewers. You guys absolutely make my day and warm my little heart every time you drop a cheeky like or a little comment downstairs so that we can have a chat. It really does make my day every single time. I get so excited seeing you guys. And a huge hello, how are you to everyone that might be new and have just found me. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you like what you've seen so far and you found a reason to stay and hang out with all of us. My name is Miss Chloe and this is my little corner of the internet where I get to share my cross-stitching with you guys. Today, you guys spoke loud and clear on the polls. It is mid-year WIP parade day. I'm so keen, so keen. So I have a pile on me and I think as I was unpacking it, I hit about 30 different projects, which I think is the biggest my WIP stack has ever been. At the start of this year, it was 20, and before that, I tried to keep it to around 10. 10 seemed like a good number because I could list them all on my little thingies. But this year I have gone a little bit overboard. I've been starting all the things. I have not been keeping up with anything, but that's A-OK-zy daisy. A-OK-zy daisy. I have been having a lot of fun and I've just been loving all of the projects I'm doing. So I can't wait to get into this stack and see what's here. There is a little disclaimer. There are about 2 or 3 maybe projects that I know aren't in here. And they are partway through, they are WIPs. One of them is Society Stitcher from the Black Needle Society. One of them is You Are My Sunshine, which I'm doing with my friend Mel Rouvray, and it was part of the summer solstice sale, so I only stitched on solstice days. And then I think there's a third, but I was thinking about UFOing it, so I'm not 100% sure if I should count it. I don't know. So if you are here and you look for those guys from, the beginning of the year and you know I haven't worked on them and they're just not in here, I am sorry. They are currently a little bit MIA. I did get a new craft room, so I'm partway through setting that up, and while I'm waiting for the shelving to come in, everything of course has been put in boxes. The land of boxes, and it's horrible. I can't find anything. It took me about 2 hours to dig out the stack I've got. And I think I've got almost all of them. So hopefully I will be able to get my new craft room completely set up soon so that I can do a little tiny mini tour and show you what's in there, what sort of makes me tick. At the moment, it's just a couch and a fold-out camping table. It's not glamorous, not at all. But we do have big plans for in there. So we've got a whiteboard that's going up and that's gonna hold all my needle minders. We've got a wall to put all my hoops on. We've got a curtain rail up to display all of the finished hoops. So eventually when this guy moves out of here, he's gonna go up there and hang off the little wall. And we've got plans to put in shelving and a full desk so that I'll have a nice workspace when I sit down with you guys for chats. So that's what's going on there. We do have a few missing things, but that's okay. There's still a lot to go through. I'm so glad you wanted to see all my projects. It is a great excuse to dig them out. The fact that I can hardly pick up the stack is tad concerning. I should probably be able to physically support all my projects. So I'm gonna have to try and power through some and whip down towards the end of the year instead of ramp it back up. But I think it'll be good. It'll be workable. So without further ado, let's get into it. Right on the top of the stack is one of my favorite projects. This is the Disney Villains Mugshot sale from Abby Sue Designs. This one came out last year. Here's your close-up. This is done on a 16 count Welcome to the Jungle from Color Cascades, which I got on Marketplace. And it features our favorite Disney villains. So we've got the Queen from Snow White, we've got Lady Tremaine from Cinderella, the Queen of Hearts, Alice in Wonderland, Captain Hook, of course, from Peter Pan, the Mistress of Evil herself, Miss Maleficent, and Corella Deville from 101 Dalmatians. Now, all of these guys are out. Have I finished them? No. No, I have not. And that is because I was waiting for the auxiliary villains to be released so that I could do a switch out. So the person that goes in this frame here is Madame Medusa from The Rescuers. Madame Medusa was not one of my favorites because I didn't have the first Rescuers as a kid. I only ever had The Rescuers 2 Down Under because my uncle bought it for me thinking it was funny because I lived in Australia and he lived in Germany. So we had that one, but not the first one. So it got to the point where I grew up and I thought that there was only The Rescuers Down Under because it didn't have the number 2 in the title. It just said Rescuers Down Under. And I was like, cool, that's The Rescuers. No, I was this many years old when I found out there wasn't. In fact, the first, it was the second. So I don't really radiate with that villain. Also, her name is Medusa and she's got red hair, not snakes. It did not compute in my brain. So I cannot put her on the cell. But now that the new guys are out, I can shuffle my order a little bit to make sure everyone stays in year order and we can get them all on the piece. I'm so excited. So I'm hoping to work on that one a little bit, but each of those frames is very, very chunky. It's got almost full stitching in it. There's a lot in the Mugshots, and I also have not finished the frames. They are chunky too. I've got a row left of them. If you are doing something like this, something that has lots and lots of these little frame pieces, what I advise is that you do one leg of frame and one leg of fill-in and one leg of frame and one leg of fill-in, because then it seems less boring. Unless lines are your jam, then good for you, babe, like go for it. Lines don't do it for me, which is why this row just has one. I got this far and went, no thanks. I'm gonna take a break. So that's what I'd recommend doing on a piece like that, where you've got loads and loads of frames that look exactly the same and take forever. There is an outside border frame on that one as well. I'm not sure if I'm doing that yet, so stay tuned and we'll see. But I am hoping to use that because it does fit all of the prompts for fandom and it seems like a really good excuse to get a bunch of stitches in on it this year. Okay. Next up, we have Autumn Firework from Our Beautiful Stitches. This is also one I have not done anything on. I have not done anything on this one. I've just used a variegated DMC on it, and I think it's coming out really nicely. I also picked just a pastel pink from DMC, and this is a full embroidery piece. So it's got a few cross stitches in it, which is really nice, but it also has lots of different techniques for me to learn and perfect. The little ones at the bottom, these wheels here, they were a lot of fun to do, but I did miscount them 3 or 4 times. It's really strange, right? Because as a cross stitcher, your brain immediately goes, square is 1. No, not anymore. Little bits start in the center and then they work their way across, but it's not the center of that piece, it's the center of the square, and it's like the third one in, not the second. Just because it's halfway through a cross does not mean it's where it's going to sit. So everything is counted slightly differently on this piece, which has been a real brain teaser for me, which is why I haven't been doing it. I would like to get this finished. It looks really cool when it's done. My friend Amy started this one with me and of course finished it super duper quick. And hers looks fabulous. But mine is still in square 2. And that's okay. I just really need time to sit down and finish it, but on a day where I've got lots of time to spend, because I have to read all of the instructions and work out what they mean and what all of the different parts are so that I can fit them in and work my way up. That being said though, I think if I could get a full 2 days, it would be okay. That gives me time to mess up. It would be fine and it would get done, and I think that it would look really cute. I do love this color scheme. This is just a DMC variegation. I am not sure of the number, it's in the 4000s, but I'm really happy with how it's coming out. and I can't wait to get back to it because this one has been, as I said, a bit of a challenge, but a lot of fun. Alrighty, next up we have Good Vibes Only. This is a creative place kit. It came from Aldi. It was stock standard with a 14 count Aida and just kit threads. They're not the best quality, but they're easy enough to work with. So I picked this one up at Aldi. I think I paid about $10 for it, so it's not very expensive. And I have done the word vibes, obviously, and the start of a couple of the giant monstera leaves. This one is just really pretty. It's all green, it's all plants. So very, very up my alley. I do like that. And it's just really sweet. So I thought that that would make a really cute little sign near my front door. Although I did start it a few years ago and I got sick of it because I miscounted this leaf like 5 times. It's been stitched a lot. It's been stitched a lot. But that's okay. That's okay. I will get back to it. I have the full kit, as I said, and I've got the pattern and everything still sitting in its little baggie. So it is ready to go. This might be something that I take sort of more for travel because it's not very hard if you can count. Big if, but if you can count, it's okay. It's okay. So this is done 2/1, so 2 threads over each square, which is what's written on the kit, so it tells you how to do it because it is for beginners. And it's actually a pretty good one to do. It is a pretty good one. Once you get into the vibe of it and start getting the counting right on these leaves, it's quite nice. It's quite nice because every time I think the leaf is in the right spot and I started stitching it, I thought it was nice. It is in the right spot now, so I should probably get back to that one. I should probably get back to that one. But it's not overly big and it will fit in this 10-inch hoop when it's done. So it will fit in here completely and we'll just reverse it. So at the moment we're stitching in the ditch, which means that it's easier for me to finish my threads on the back of the piece than on the front. Because when I started this, I was finishing all my threads on the back. So when I work with Aida, I like to finish on the back, but when I work with even weave, I like to finish on the front and I like to go down mid-stitch so that it's really like hidden and just beautiful. It's such a good finishing technique just for your thread. It's really secure and really nice and it doesn't show up, so it's good. It's good. I like it. But yeah, that's what this one's up to. Hopefully I can get some work done on this one too. This one doesn't necessarily fit any prompts for any of the game groups I'm in, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm still gonna work on it and try and shift it out. Next on the stack, we have my Disney Dreams kit. This is my tiny little baby start for the Lion King. Believe it or not, this is what 1,000 stitches looks like. It doesn't look like much, and to give you some context, like the fabric on this guy goes forever, is pretty big. So this was a kit that was gifted to me, and of course it's my all-time favorite movie being The Lion King. I absolutely love The Lion King. I always have, like, right from when it came out. We didn't have the ability to go see it in theaters because my brother was also, you know, on his way. But I did get to watch it a lot at my friends' houses, and then we recorded a copy of it off of another VHS. My granddad copied it for me from my aunt's copy so that I could watch it, and it was just my favorite movie, and I remember watching it all the time. So when the opportunity came up to start stitching Pride Rock, you best believe I was in. I was in, and I was so excited to do it. It is a piece that requires a lot of concentration though. The Kincaid illustrations, I'm sure you can see, are very, very detailed, and absolutely beautiful. So this has a lot of back stitching. It's got a blending filament that I have never used before, so I don't know what to do with that. I don't know. Blend, I guess. But I'm not 100% sure on what to do with that, so that's okay. It's just gonna sit in its corner until I have all of my mentals together and I can do it. Though if you do have tips for blending, please let me know. Please let me know downstairs, or if you go through, there's a link to my link tree. It's got all my socials on it, so you can catch me on Instagram, you can DM me and give me some instructions. I assume it's like mixed threads where, you know, you have two colors and they go in together and you just kind of stitch them, but I don't really know, and it looks like plastic. It looks like plastic. It has me a little bit scared, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll get there eventually. I will pick this back up. It is just a 18 count Ada, and it is done 2/1 yet again, as the kit has called for, with the back stitch being done in one thread in most places, and some places it has it in 2 threads. So I do my length and then I go over it again. I feel like couching is going to be a really good option for this piece when I get to it. For those who are newer to stitching, couching is a much easier version of backstitch. So basically what you do is you get 2 threads, right, on 2 separate needles, and you go, okay, I need to backstitch this area here. So you'd pull it up here and you just work it across. You wouldn't pull it tight though. So you put that needle at the back, and with your second needle and thread, you go and you fasten it wherever it needs to be, up or down, and don't pull it all the way through. Don't be harsh on it, and it will just sit beautifully on top of your work, and it just looks really nice. So I am hoping to start couching a little bit more. I definitely think it's a much smoother way of backstitching. It doesn't have all the little like juts, and it doesn't look as sharp. It doesn't have the restart points. So I am hoping to apply that new skill that I have from the Dark Queen through to my other things like this one from Thomas Kincaid. Next up, we have a piece you haven't seen for a while. We have the Spring Mermaid. This is from the Mermaids of the Season sale from Bella Filipina last year. Here's your close-up. I think she's gorgeous. As you can see, the mermaid herself is done. So this one, it has beading. This was my first attempt at beading, so some of the beads are a little bit rough. But I did work through it and I did eventually get it. I really like how it's turning out. And what's left on this particular mermaid is the border, because I need to rechart the border just a little bit, because I don't want to frame all of my mermaids as one single piece. I want to frame them as 4 separate pieces and sort of put them up in a line. A bit like the snails here from Black Needle, but I want them obviously across, not down. So I need to work out the size of frames that I'm using for these and the kind of matting that I'm going to be putting in them, and then I'm going to work backwards from there to find out where my border count should be, so that I can mark it off and I can stitch it and it will properly fit and look exact in the frame. So this one is Spring. She does have 3 sisters, but I have not started them. So I have everything for summer, autumn, and winter, and they are sitting waiting to go. Unfortunately, with all the beads and all the little tiny stitches, these projects are quite intense and time consuming. So they are ones that I like to do when I don't have anything else on. Again, this is one I'd really like to have sort of a few weeks just to work on these particular mermaids. They are quite stitch heavy. I know she looks very, very small. Very, very small, but there's lots of stitches in her. Lots of stitches, trust and believe. So I have done this one mainly as 2/2 in all the called for, except for her skin. Her skin has been done as 1/1. This is on a 32 count even weave, and it's called Cloud Pink. It's from Sew It All Australia. It is a printed even weave, so the back is just white, which is fine because I'm going to put it in a frame anyway. The back doesn't need to be colored. Not a problem. Not a problem. And I'm really happy with how she's turned out. I absolutely love the texture difference. I'll give you another close up here so that you can sort of see the texture difference really nice and close. So we've got her skin, which is really, really fine and delicate, and then her hair and her scales on her tail just really pop up being a lot bigger, and I think it's a good contrast. This is another piece I've used couching on, so again, where you lay the floss across the top of the work and then you fasten it with a second piece of thread instead of pulling it down hard between each piece. And I think it just gave it a really gentle touch for the edge of her skin, a real softening, and I really, really love how it's come out. I love how it's come out. I am hoping to do another mermaid this year. I think if I focus and just do one a year, that's okay. I don't have a lot of fancy lady projects. And being a bit smaller, they're transportable. So when I am doing the 2/2, I can take it to, you know, work, and I can do it on site and things like that during my lunch, which is really nice. Whereas the skin itself is just really, you have to concentrate, you have to sit still, because you have to keep your tension perfect. Being 1/1 on 32, it is a little bit difficult. But it's so worth it when they come out in the end. So I really am happy about doing that time investment and that extra like concentration and just the extra effort that it takes to make sure that it's perfectly smooth and nicely run over there. But I am hoping, like I said, to get the next one in. I think the next one on the list is Summer. So she has a lot of pinks and a lot of oranges. She's really pretty. And I can't wait to get her started so I can show you guys. Next up on the stack, I've got 2 WIPs to show you because they kind of go together. They do, but they don't, but they do. You'll see what I mean. The first one is Feeling a Little Bit Shy, and we've got Winnie the Pooh in a honey pot. And the second one is Always Be Prepared. These are 2 really cute little kits. Again, these are just from Aldi. They sell kits once a year. I bought this one, and my friend Chris bought me this one and surprised me at work, and it was just the best day. The best day. I was having the worst week, and he just sort of knew, and he brought me a gift, and it really lit up my world. So I have these 2 guys. These 2 are fully backstitched. These 2 are fully stitched, with exceptions. So the exceptions on this is that they are both supposed to have a quote. This one is supposed to say, I'm feeling a little bit shy. Doesn't really fit for me. I don't think so. And this one is supposed to say, be prepared, but it's not Scar from the Lion King, so I can't bring myself to stitch that. I just cannot. So I need to put some quotes on here. Last WIP parade, a couple of you guys gave me some good ideas, and I'm still trying to chart them. But if anyone else has ideas, please do let me know. Let me know. I am hoping to find the perfect quote. The reason that they're sitting here, especially this guy, because he's been done for ages, is just because I feel like the perfect quote needs to go on it, and I can't quite work out what it is. So I do need a lot of help with that. But these 2 are both Disney branded kits. They're official. They are from, as I said, Aldi. Aldi sell Disney cross-stitch kits usually once a year. And every time they're out, I go and snap them up because they're only about $10 and they fit perfectly in a handbag. As you can see, they're not very big. I think they're about a 6-inch hoop. I've also done a Tinkerbell one, a Mary Poppins one, and 101 Dalmatians. So there are quite a few. Although I haven't got the whole set, I am missing quite a few that came out in the last couple of years, just due to the stock and supply at my local stores. But that's okay. Still pretty happy with what I've got. They're a lot of fun to stitch. They are both on a 14 count Aida. They were both originally white Aida. They both looked like this. This one I tea dyed, and I tried to tea dye it so it would be blue using my Polyjuice Potion Butterfly Tea Flower Tea that I got from the Black Needle Society in a subscription box. But it did not work out. So I took it over to my friend Amy's house and I went, it went grey, what do I do? And she went, I've got a strong tea. And we dyed it with that over the top, and you can see the grey in some places and the tea in others, and it's just perfect. I absolutely love it. So I'm really happy with how that came out. This guy did not get dyed because I started him the day I got him at work. I just sat there at my desk on lunch and stitched my little heart out. I think I worked on his backpack to start with, so I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, that's these 2 boys, and as soon as I find the perfect quote, I'm gonna put them up. They're gonna go on my hoop wall. One of them might show up here for a little while. See how we feel about replacing the dragon. Not sure on that one. But that's what those are up to. So hopefully I will be able to find some inspiration for my charting and get the right fonts and get the quotes on here so that they are done, because they're so close to being finished. But as I said, I do really love them. I love that they're classic Disney. I love that they're super cute. I just love everything. I love everything about them. Next on my pile, I've got a 3-in-1. So this is from a little cross stitch magazine. I have not started the third, so it's 2-in-1. I lie, I'm sorry. These are the little cupcake cards that are from the World of Cross Stitch magazine. This came as a free little kit along with the magazine, and my friend didn't want her kit, so she gifted it to me very kindly. Thank you, darling. Thank you. I started these guys in Mania this year. So I started the blue one first, and then I folded it over, and then I started the pink one second. Here's your close-up of both of them together. I think they're really, really cute. They're really cute. They're a very easy stitch. They won't take very long at all. And then I have to mount them on some cards. So they came with everything for finishing. They came with a little backing card that you can like write in, and it's got all the spots on it. It's really sweet, really, really sweet. And I'm excited to get them done and then post them off or drop them in letterboxes of friends and family, just so they've got a little like boost for their day. I think that'll be a really nice gift to receive, just something completely crafted and a bit of fun. A little bit of fun, I think that's great. And I want to give a shout out to my friend Lara from the Pattern Queens. Thank you so much, darling. She let me know that you can get glue dots. I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently you can get tiny little dots of glue and you can stick it to the back and then you stick it on the card. It's genius. It's genius. So now I know how to stick it down without like mounting it on something, because all the other cards and stuff I've done have had like slots cut in them that you know, fasten the edge through, or they have a window cut out and then a piece that folds over the back and it holds it still. So this is an entirely new adventure for me, because these guys are just a folded piece of cardboard. Pretty cardboard, but cardboard. And I had no idea what I was doing. So she messaged me the other day. She's like, hey, I'm watching your Flosstube. Do you know what glue dots are? You need glue dots in your life. So I am going to Spotlight this weekend to buy some glue dots and also all the stuff for the finishing class that I'm doing. But you'll see that in the next video. So that'll be all right. But that's where those two are up to. So I am hoping to start the third one and also get them all finished so that I can FFO them and start giving them out to some friends. The next thing I can see on the pile is our stamped kit. This is the one and only stamped kit that I have ever had or worked on. This is Mini Foliage, and the story behind this one is that we had a bit of a bad run with my family at the start of the year. A couple of us ended up in hospital, and I needed something to occupy my brain and my hands because I was not coping sitting in hospital chairs for days. So my very lovely husband went all over my grandparents' hometown of Stawell until he found cross-stitch kits, and then he bought me the only two they had available. One was this one. It was stamped, and though I've never done a stamped kit and it's a very weird experience, I am so grateful for it. When you can't think, you can't count, you're not functioning because you've been in hospital and then your loved one is in hospital, and everything is just going wrong, not having to think was the best thing. So with this one, as you can see in the close-up there, you get a little list on the side of all the colors, and then you have the colors printed on there as well with the different numbers in the bigger blocks. So you can see in the leaves, they've got 15 for the dark green and 14 for the light green. And then you get a card that has all of the floss organized on it, a bit like you do with some of the kits, where all of the colors are pre-organized for you and you can just pull them out as you go. Same deal with this. So you then just pull out your thread and you stitch over the blocks of color and you watch it change and grow. So that's what I've been doing with it. I have done a fair chunk. There's a few thousand stitches in here that are done. Her shoes are complete. I'm working on the flowers at the moment. They're a pretty pink, and they start out yellow in the fabric, and then the pink just takes over and covers it, and it's nice to watch it come to life. It's really nice to watch it come to life. I have enjoyed that. And I'm hoping to just keep going over it and keep changing it. Once it's done, you're supposed to submerge it in warm water. The threads themselves say that they won't run, so that should be okay. and then you're sort of supposed to soak it for a bit, and then you rub it, and then you soak it, and then you rub it. So all of like this pink background should disappear, and then all of the printing underneath should also disappear, leaving us with just the stitched work. Like I said, it has been a very strange experience to be working on a stamped kit. It's not something I ever thought I would do myself, but now that I am doing it, I can see the merits of it for, say, a very, very junior stitcher, a beginner, someone who can't count properly yet, or isn't confident, or just wants something to do while they literally can't think, can't function. For me, it was a godsend. So this one has been very nice to have. I do need to finish it, but when I started getting, you know, a little more cognitive space up in my head, it sort of went by the wayside. It just got put in its little baggie and it sits in the corner patiently waiting for a day where I just can't cope anymore and I need to pick it back up. And that's okay. That's okay. We all need an easy project like that sometimes. She is also on a 14 count Aida, and it is 2 threads over 1 square, so 2 over 1. It is a nice easy kit and I really do enjoy it. Okay. The next thing I have to show you is the Creepy Christmas Village Stitch Along from Lola Crow. Here she is. Here's your close-up. Enjoy! So this is the Creepy Christmas Village sal that Lola Crow did last year over Christmas. I started this one with the best of intentions and just, of course, you know, Christmas I fell behind. It's a busy time of year for us. It's a busy time of year for all of us. But I have done the first 3 are complete. I think there's a tiny bit of backstitch still to do on ornament number 4, which is the horse and cart. And then there are 3 ornaments left. 2 that will fit on this piece of fabric and 1 that I will have to find new fabric for. We did get a bonus. So I'm hoping to get those done for next Christmas. I've bought cute little hoops from Ginger Stitch. Ginger Stitch Zane has these nice little birchwood hoops and they're just really pretty. They're like a medium tan color and they're just gorgeous and they have a big bolt on them. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. I need to learn the spiral back finish method so that I can make them look really pretty on both sides. And I think they're gonna look really good in that one. So like I said, I have finished the top row, the first 3. I'm working on this guy here. I just have a little bit of backstitch to do with him and then he will be done and then I can move down the line. So like I said, I am hoping to get them done for Christmas. I think they'll look really, really good on my wall. And they'll make the perfect little Christmas decorations for our house. That piece itself is stitched 2 over 2. So 2 threads, 2 squares. And it is a 32 count even weave. This one is called the Black Pearl. It's from Steel City Stitches. And it has a sparkle. It's fantastic because when I'm looking at it, it doesn't come up super well on camera, but in person, she's really sparkly. And the glitter stays on there. She doesn't fall off, which is very nice while I'm stitching. Very nice. But it's brilliant because of the snow all around the piece. It looks like the snow is falling as you move because you just get this little twinkle every now and then. And I think that that's really magical and just perfect for a Christmas ornament. The next WIP I have for you today is my Stars Hol Banner. So this is actually 4 work in progress projects in one smooth line. Are you ready? Here she is. This is where I'm up to on the Stars Hol Banner. So here's your close up and in order we have spring, summer, autumn, and of course on the end, winter. I have decided to do this in tiny mode because of course I did. Of course I did when I had a moment where I wasn't thinking. Sure, Chloe, why not? So I have done this on a 28 count and I have done it as 1 over 1. It's so sweet. It's so sweet. Look, it doesn't even make it from shoulder to shoulder. It's going to be so cute, you guys. I can't wait to put this up. It's definitely going to save me a lot of space on my wall, but I have a few places in mind where it's going to go. I will have to get this framed properly, I think. I don't think I can do this one myself because I don't have the ability to make a frame at home yet. It is something I would like to learn to do because then I can have all the weird shapes. All the weird shapes. But that's where this one is up to so far. So the reason winter here is so stitched up and looking fabulous is because I started in winter. Winter was my first and last year. This is of course from the Black Needle Society, and they hosted a retreat for each of the years as the works went on. So you started in the middle here. This was autumn. And then these 2 years came out. I'm not 100% sure of the order of summer and spring. And then of course we got winter this year. This year over Easter we did winter. And I had an absolute blast. I made so many friends and I got to hang out with you guys in the chat rooms. And of course, because everyone was stitching winter, I couldn't work on these other three. Nah, mate. Winter had to go in. So I spent my entire time working on winter. There is about 5 to 10% left of winter, and it's because I am waiting on a thread to come in. It got back ordered and I need to follow up on that again just to see where it's at. But I really loved doing it. Everything is as called for with the exception of the snowflakes. So the snowflakes at 3 o'clock in the morning, my brain went, you know, it'd be a really good idea. Shiny snowflakes. You should do shiny snowflakes. Yeah, we're about to go into a challenge. Pick a thread and do shiny snowflakes. Oh, light effects. We should do light effects. Ha! Let's do light effects. At 3 a.m., when I was very delulu on like the second to last time, I had that conversation in my head. That's what it said. From parts of my brain to other parts of my brain. And I went and picked out a light effects and went, it won't be that hard. It's just a challenge. It doesn't matter that it's counted for points. Stitching with light effects at 3 a.m. when you are completely delulu. Do not recommend. Do not recommend. It is not the easiest thing in the world, but it is real pretty when it pays off. So if you are doing a piece with snowflakes, can recommend the light effects. Work in short bursts. Work with good light. Work during the daytime. Work when you've slept. Do not do a Chloe. Do not Chloe. Do not Chloe. Just do not. Like, she's a choice. She's a choice. But you do you. Like, if you work best at 3 a.m., go for it. But if you're like me and you're delulu, girl, no. No. It's not a choice I probably would have made if I was thinking. I would have been like, I'll do that between challenges. Yeah. I'll do something else now. It's not how it came out. It's not how it worked. Quite impressively, my stitch count for that particular challenge was still over 200. So it was okay. It was just not enjoyable. It was just not enjoyable. But that's fine. That's fine. She looks really pretty. And again, she has that magic feel of the snow when you move and it glints and it just look really crystallized. I love that. So winter is looking really good. She's done. And I did start working on autumn, which is this middle block here. So you can see I've outlined sort of the gazebo. I've been working down in color blocks and I've started outlining Rory's Chilton skirt. So that will be nice to get back to and start working on. I do love this piece. It's just really, really sweet. It's on A Million Miles of Ada and I can't, even wave, and I can't show you that right now because it's hiding 3 secret projects that I can't share with you yet because they're for gifts. But they will debut in another video, I promise you. Promise you. So yeah, for the other seasons, I literally just started in the corner here and worked my way across the top of the banner. I did the top of the banner in about 3 days, and then I went into the Winter in Stars Hollow retreat for this one with just like a corner done. It was not much at all, and I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and by the end of retreat she looked like this. So I was really, really happy with that. And then coming off retreat, I started working just in the gazebo here to fill this down under Copper Boom. So yeah, that's those 4. while we're talking Black Needle Society, I'm going to show you where I'm up to for my Celebrate All Year sale. So this is something we got in our nice list box like at the end of last year, and it's really, really cool. So Katie has done something every month, and it comes out on the 1st, and we sit here and we try and stitch our little hearts out, and some of us are behind, and that's okay. That's okay. We have lots going on. It's fine. We'll catch up eventually. But the really cool thing about this one is that it came in the nice list box, and it came with the finishing kit. So once I get, you know, a little bit braver, I'm gonna start doing the finishing. So there's 2 on this one that I haven't finished yet. So this is June. This is camping month. As you can see, I've started the log cabin. I've done the 2 brown colors within it, and I have started the green on the roof. So this green also extends to the window and the door. And then just above it here, you can see strawberry month happening. So strawberry month still needs a bit of fill in. It needs its chocolate. It needs a few little details added to it. And I think the centers of the flowers, so there's our little white strawberry flowers, like on the plant, super sweet, super sweet. But it doesn't have a lot to go. So I just need a couple of days where I can sit down and just power these out. But lately I have been focusing on some gifting projects. So everything else has sort of gotten hidden away unless it has a very strict timeline. And that's all right. That's all right. But I would like to get back into the mode of this has come out, we've got to stitch it. This has come out, we've got to stitch it. Like, keep up with yourselves, because I'm behind on all of them. The 3 current ones and like the 6 that are in this pile. Oops. But that's okay. That's okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. I enjoy the process of stitching rather than finishing items, so that's okay for me. I'm okay with it. But yeah, that's where that one's up to. So I am hoping that after July, after July, if you know, you know, after July, I will get to pick everything back up and really start getting back into finishing things and getting like on track. I like with my sales to be on target, and not being on target for any of them is kind of killing me a little bit. Just a little squidging, but that's okay. That's okay, because I'm still having fun. So it's fine. So it's fine. All right, next up, I have a beautiful piece that my friend designed. I'm so keen for this one. It goes with a book. I believe it's Crescent City. I'm sure she can tell us if I'm wrong. I have not read the book. I just fell in love with the phrase and the font and the color changes. This girl knows her colors. This is Light It Up from Stitched by Liz. Look how pretty the like gradient is on this thing. I am obsessed. Obsessed. I absolutely love it. This is on an 18 count black Ada. It was one of my May Mania starts. I am not very far through it. As you can see, I've got most of the word light. I have a little bit to go on the G, and then it up goes down the bottom and it turns like red. It's really, really cool. It's really cool. So I can't wait to get back to this one and get it finished. I have really enjoyed it, and I just love watching the color change come through. It's really, really beautiful. It's really beautiful. I think this one is available on her Ko-Fi shop if you guys want a copy for yourself. I don't know if anyone's stitched it on light 80 yet, so give us a heads up if you do. I'd love to see the difference and see how it looks on, say, a light gray or even a dark blue. I think would really pop with it. I think that would look really fun. Next up, we have WIP number 18 for the day. 18, hey, hanging in there. You doing okay, guys? You doing okay? This is Won't Take Long from Idris Studios. The maker of this does run a Flosstube. Her name is Jen. Hi, Jen. Her channel name is Wolf Down the Rabbit Hole, and she's super lovely. Go give her some love. Check her out. But this is her pattern. This is called Won't Take Long. I believe when it's charted, it's all done in black floss. But the model itself is stitched in red. It's really gorgeous, and I have chosen to do it with a Silks For You Christmas silk from 2022. and I really, really enjoyed the variegation. I think that I'm going to do more things with words in them and just these like leaf style borders so that I can use up these colors a bit more. I do have quite the collection of colors now, and I really liked using it in this way. I liked seeing it come to life and just quietly change, even if you have to do stitch by stitch individually. Totally worth it. Totally worth it. Absolutely in love. So this one I have chosen to stitch on a black Aida, which of course is why I could not use black. So I've chosen to do it on a black Aida. This is 14 count, and I have a fair bit left over. It's doubled at the back as well. So I can do a few other things on this. I bought it for something specific. Do I know what the something specific is? No. No. Am I going to remember? Probably not. By the time I dig up whatever pattern this was originally called for on, I will just buy more. It will be fine. It will be fine. It will be fine. But this one is really close to a finish. I need to do another of these leaf borders at the bottom, and then I believe that's it. I can put it up in frame and hang it up here at home. And I think it's just really, really cute. I love it. I like that it's really compact, so it's little, even though it's on the 14 count, which is often where you end up with bigger things. But I just think it's really sweet. I love this one so much. Alrighty, next up we have a Lola Crow project. This is a perfect night for reading. This was a freebie that Lola Crow did for a group I'm in for fibromyalgia awareness. So it was released this year. I have done this on a 14 count Aida that I got from Frog and Tink. It is one of their hand dyed, and it's sort of pastel, and I really, really love how it looks. It comes up a little washed out in the light on camera, but it is a very, very pale pink underneath all of this, which is perfect because once the books are in, it's going to make their pages pop. So the chart itself, I'm sure you can see, is a little chair with a crow and a white cat, which is perfect because I used to have a white cat when I used to read a lot. And then stacks of books everywhere and a little table with a candle on it. I did what I've done on this one in one day, and I quite enjoyed doing it. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. This was one of my Mania starts. That sentence is going to happen a lot in this video. I'm sorry, you guys. My first year participating in Mania, and now in June, I'm just like, why did I do that to myself? But I really like this one. I like that it's not a very big project, so it's going to be really simple, really cute, and really, really quick. I think I can get this one finished very easily before Christmas, so once July passes, I'm gonna get back to it, and I can't wait to do that. The next project I have to share with you is Silver Bells. This is all I have done. This is 300 stitches. It's not very much. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This was another Mania start. You can see really well in the close-up there exactly what I've done. It's not a huge amount, but it was enough to get my start count up, which was great. So this piece has a beautiful peacock in it. This came in a nice list box a few years ago, and it is done on a 32 count linen, which I was terrified of until Lara taught me how to use linen. So thank you, Lara. The designer for this piece is Lindy Stitches, and it is stitched 2 over 2, so 2 threads over 2 squares. And it is so little. This is done with a variegated thread called Mermaid so far. And because it is variegated, I have had to do it 1 stitch at a time. So you have to do your both legs before moving on to the next stitch. So this one has been a little more time consuming. I find I am a much slower stitcher that way. I don't know if you guys do too. It's really strange to start stitching in a new technique and then find out that, like, when you used to be super fast and go through projects, that you're suddenly really methodical and it's just taking a lot longer. It's not a bad thing. It's definitely enjoyable, but it's really strange to be like, yeah, I can do this many stitches an hour. Oh wait, no, like half that number now. So it's been quite a flip mentally to suddenly be taking much more time on projects that use variegated threads and are on different kinds of fabric that I'm not used to working on. But I do love that I'm growing as a stitcher and I get to push myself with a little bit of a challenge. And it's really great because everything comes with this for the nice list. So if you haven't seen a nice list unboxing, or you haven't had a nice list yourself, what happens for some of the days is you'll get three days that sort of go together as a package. So day 1 you'll get floss, day 2 you'll get fabric, and day 3 you'll get the pattern. And they all go together to make one piece. So you get little tiny kits that are spaced out over the days of your advent calendar, which is just so much fun. This is my second piece that I am actually doing out of one of my nice list boxes. A lot of them do come with linen. Don't be scared, don't put them down and say no. Either change out to another fabric that you're comfortable with, or give it a go. Ask someone for help. It's what I did, and it's been amazing. People are so kind, and in this community, they're really, really giving. So if you ask, you shall receive. Someone will definitely help you. But do give it a go, especially if you get the nice list, because you have everything there. So you've got nothing to lose. It's already sorted. It's already sorted. So this piece, it does, as I said, have a big peacock on it that Lindy Stitches has designed. And the feathers in the tail are what have the little bells hanging off them. And I think it's just really sweet. I think in the cover image, she's got it finished as a pillow. So I'm going to learn how to do that. So I am a little bit excited, very keen to go through and finish this one so that I can then learn some fancy finishing. I have heard that there are some very, very good finishes on YouTube. So I'm going to be looking up all of you guys. If you have recommendations, or you are someone that finishes pieces in fun ways, let me know. Reach out. I'd love to have a chat, and I'd love to learn from you, so that I can hold something up and say, you know, my new friend so-and-so has done this before, and they taught me how to do everything, so that I could have the confidence to go and finish things in this way. I just think that would be a really fun way to learn and grow in my stitching journey. The next project I have to share with you is a stitch along from this year. So it's current, but it's not up to date. Don't look too close. Don't look too close. This is the Vampirum Sal from Noctiflora. Here's your close-up, guys. So this is Vampirum. This has currently got part 2, and I believe by the time this video is edited, because she's going to take me a while, this will be up to part 3. And I am halfway through part 2. I'm on the 50% mark, so that's not too bad. I'm pretty happy with that as progress so far. This is done on another printed fabric, so the front is printed and the back is not. This is called Violet Crush from Sew It All. And I just think it's really gentle and really lovely. It does have a little bit of like marbling through it as a pattern, and it's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I will have leftover, I don't know how much, because I originally bought this to do as a piece with 2/2 instead of 1/1. But I started doing it 2/2 and it just didn't work in my head. I couldn't get it to feel right. I couldn't get it to look right. So I downsized it. But because I didn't think, I went, yeah, I've already marked the middle of the top. Let's start there. So I started in the middle of the top of the fabric, which is good, until you remember that the middle of the top was measured for 14 count, not 28 count. So there's going to be a small river of fabric on each side and well below it. But that's okay. That's okay. I bought this for one piece, so if I only do one piece on it, it's fine, and I'll just buy more. I'll just buy more. Our pile is finally starting to get smaller. So next up, I'm going to show you some of my other fancy ladies. There's 2 projects, but 3 of them. The first is Royal Games. Here's your close-up. She doesn't look like much yet. So this is a playing card with 2 queens, one the right way up and one upside down. I think they're really pretty. So at the moment I have started on their 2 dresses. They're going to look really, really pretty when they're done. I'll have to decide which way to display them. But this is Royal Games from Mirabilia. And I'm stitching this 2/2, and the skin will eventually be 1/1 on a 32 count even weave white from Sew It All Australia. And this is an opalescent, so she's shiny and glittery. Because, you know, what's life without a little bit of glittery magic? Right? We all love glitter, except maybe my husband, who is not Not a fan of the tiny metal shavings being everywhere, Chloe. But he still loves me, so it's okay. It's okay. This one has the fabric with the glitter sort of like woven in. So it so much like the other one, this one doesn't fall off. It's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. But I do really, really love this piece. I think it's going to be gorgeous when it's done. I've seen some of my friends finish it. This piece I did stop because I was out of threads at the time, and then I was a bit scared of the beading and I didn't want to do that, which is another reason I got onto the Mermaid stitch along that you saw earlier, because that was going to be my debut into the beading world, which has started to go quite well. So I'm going to keep working and get through at least another Mermaid before I crack back into my queens, because I would just like to get the technique down really nicely before I start putting it on this one. I don't know why, but this one just, it scares me a little bit. It scares me a little bit, but I do really love it and I would like to get it done. If you did this piece, which way up would you display it? Black queen, red queen? You gotta let me know, because I have no idea. I have no idea. I just know that both queens are really pretty. I understand that 2 more of the queens have been released as another card, and I think someone said the kings were getting done as well, so I might have to stitch all 4 cards and put them together. What do you guys think? I think it will take a long time, but it's very doable. It's very doable, and they're just such nice looking characters. I really like them. And I think that even with the really slim like faces and builds, that they're just the most stunning ladies. So I am hoping to get them done. Like I said, probably not this year. Probably, they scare me and I don't know why. I don't know. But I will get back to them eventually, and when I do, I am hoping that the stitchy bug just takes over and they become my focus piece for a little while, because I would really like to get them sort of sorted and have the beading done and just looking real gorgeous, so I can take him down to Gus, who does my framing at Emu Pictures. Shout out Gus, you're amazing. And he can put it in the perfect frame for me so that she can go up on my wall. The next project I have to share with you is my final fancy lady. This is Autumn Lane Stitchery's Dark Queen of the Earth. I have had to deframe her to show her to you today. I've been keeping her in a scroll frame. This is one of the first projects I'm properly doing on a scroll frame, and I'm really enjoying it. So the other ones you've seen are ones that I started after her, but I'm absolutely in love with her. This is so beautiful, so beautiful. This was a stitch along done last year by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and I have chosen to go with the brown skinned version of this piece. I picked this back up in Mania because I had lots of little sections to start, because I am about 6 releases behind everybody else because they've all finished, and that's okay, that's okay. So at this point I still need to do the giant branch that sort of encircles her and goes around her head. I need to do her head itself and her little crown, and also I need to finish her arms, and then I need to finish her legs, and then I need to put in all the beads. See a theme here? A lot of the projects that I have been putting off are beaded ones. Oops. It's okay there, I am learning, I am growing, we're gonna get through the beading, it will be okay. I am really enjoying this one, so I have stitched this one completely 2/2. I didn't feel when I started doing the skin that I should do that as 1/1. And the difference here is, I think with the fancy ladies, usually you just want them to look really delicate and pointed and fine and smooth, right? So you really want that difference between their dress and the person. I'm doing the wood nymph. A wood nymph is supposed to be a bit more rough, a bit more, you know, textured, have those edges and all of those sort of things. So I really wanted to make sure that she sort of was a bit blockier, just to give her that feel. So I am doing her with 2/2 everywhere, and she's completely called for. So there's some Rainbow Gallery, some DMC, and I think Kreinik as well. I have everything, it's in a box, it's away, it's very safe. So safe that I can't find it right now. because of course, but that's fine. I'm really enjoying her, so I am hoping to work on her a little bit more this year. She has been a lot of fun. The next project I have to show you is another stitch along, but it's not an official stitch along. This is Heartstring Samplery's Scary Sampler. I am stitching this with my friend Amy. She's Amy in the Valley over on Instagram. Hey girl! I do a lot of my stitching with Amy. We pick a lot of our projects together, and it's just really, really fun to be able to stitch something with my friend. We both start in different places, so it's always slightly different. And I believe that my friend Katie from the Black Needle Society and Liz over at Stitch by Liz are also doing this piece now. So that's really fun. I get to stitch it with everybody. If you would like to do this piece, you are welcome to join us. Amy and I stitch for 5 days each month on this piece, and we do it on the 13th of each month as our starting block. So we get to pull it out, we get to work on it for 5 days, and we get to put it away. Now, with Mania, that didn't happen, and this month it's not happening because I have gifting pieces that have a timeline that really need to be adhered to. So I am hoping to get onto it next month instead, hopefully. In which I'll have to do 15 days on it instead of 5 days of stitches. But that's okay. That's okay. As you can see, I've almost finished the border. So in the border, we've got the Demogorgon flowers, and I've done the verse in the middle. I've started the cat and the roofline, and I have also started the Death Star. The border also has little alien heads that hang off it, so I still need to stitch those guys, but I don't think that'll take me too long. This one itself, I am doing 1/1 on 28 count. This was the first piece I started on 28 count over 1. This started my love affair with the tiny things because otherwise it's a really big project. And I just think it's coming out to be really, really sweet. I love the sizing. I love how compact it is. Like, look, this is my hand fully stretched out on the piece. So it's not going to be that much bigger. It doesn't go down past the border very much. But I'm really enjoying it, and I can't wait to get back to it. This one does have a very limited color palette. I am working in DMC if you would like to see the conversion or the as charted versions. I believe Katie and Liz are both doing theirs in the called for, and I've used the conversion that the author has given for DMC. But I'm also planning to make a few changes just here and there, just to add a few more colors, as there are not a lot of DMCs listed. And I think that's going to be really fun just to see the differences that come out in my piece versus Liz, versus Amy, versus Katie. They're all going to look so different, but so similar. And I think that's really fun. I can't wait to get back to this one now that I'm looking at it. I just want to go and fill in all of the Demogorgon flowers. I just want to do that right now. But obviously I need to finish filming because there's still 5 things on my table. I'm asking myself, how do we know? No, we don't. It just kind of happened. And that's okay. The next piece I have to show you is a work in progress from Bothy Threads. This is I'm Late from Bothy Threads Alice in Wonderland series. This one is absolutely stunning. I love this piece beyond words. The fact that it's all stitched in black at the top is really simple. There's a little bit of gold work with the rabbit and I believe a butterfly, but Alice and Lizzie and the tree and the house and everything else is just done completely in silhouette. I did one of these pieces already. I did the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. So I'm now doing one of its companion pieces. I do have the other one as well. So I believe there's only 3 Alice in Wonderland ones that she's released, but I think that's perfect. I'm hoping to frame them in a triptych so that they all sit together. They're all on this very, very similar fabric. This is a 14 count Aida that came with the kit. It is not printed. This is fully hand dyed, and it looks for all the world like a rainbow paddle pop. Rainbow paddle pops are my favorite. They are my favorite. They were what I would get every time we stopped at the petrol station when I was a kid. And then even as an adult, like 30-year-old Chloe would sit in the car and be like, Cameron, if you're filling up, can we get paddle pops? please? And he would always come back with Paddle Pop, and he would have an adult ice cream like a Maxi Bon or or a Cornetto, and I'm sitting there with my Paddle Pop like the happiest 5-year-old in the world. But you know, if it makes you happy, do the thing, right? Do the thing. It's fine. It's fine. So the fabric was one of the reasons I picked these kits. As I said, I do love Alice in Wonderland. It's one of my favorite novels, and I quite like it. So I have a lot of the games that are done about it, and I have a lot of different prints that are done about it. And one of my favorite adaptations is the game Alice Madness Returns. I think it's just got a really great take on the Cheshire Cat. He's a lot of fun. I love him so much. He's my favorite literary character of all time. So fun fact for you there. This kit itself is stitched 3/1, so 3 strands of floss, 1 square, and that's to give it a really solid look, so that the silhouette comes through really strongly and really beautifully. I like that a lot. It does have a little bit of gold, like I said. This is another one that would be very good for tired eyes or a beginner stitcher, or if you're not well and not able to focus on your stitching very much. This is my go-to project for all of that sort of thing, because it is very easy. The thread's pre-cut, everything's organized, and you just follow it. You don't have to worry about changing color very much. Like I said, there's a tiny bit of gold, but it's so minute, and if you did it in black, it really wouldn't matter. It would be okay, you know? So I think this is a really good one. I would like to get back to this one as well. I really enjoyed doing this tree, and because we still have half of the tree to do over here, I am looking forward to that. So hopefully I will get through a couple of my other goals and be able to pick this one back up near the end of the year. Next up, I have a stitch along to share with you guys. This is another one that should be finished. This is one that came out 2 years ago. This one was a surprise, and I was not planning to stitch on it. This is Santa's stamp collection from the Black Needle Society. So what happened with this one, on day 1 of the nice list, we all opened a very nice fabric and went, I wonder what this is for. And then we checked our inboxes, and in our inboxes, we had the top portion and the very first stamp and all of the borders. All of the borders. The borders that I have, of course, not finished because, again, I don't take my own advice. Meh. But this is it. This is what she looks like. So far, I have done something on every single stamp. Every single stamp. Except for day 25 because it's just big and I want to do it on its own. I want to do it on its own. But this one was a complete surprise to us. We did not know we were going to get a stitch along. Let alone one that came out every single day in December, which was crazy. But we did, and we all immediately sorted threads. I think there's 7 or 8 colors in this one. It's not a huge palette, but it works really well. What Katie does with her colors is just phenomenal. So again, I did change it a little bit. I added in a red Santa sleigh and a red for our cardinal over there in the corner. And I think I used a red on the poinsettia as well. That were not charted, they were orange. They were a dark orange, so it looked really good, but my brain just couldn't compute orange Santa. I couldn't. So I did turn him red. But this piece has been a lot of fun. It was really interesting every day to try and guess what the next stamp was gonna be because they're all different sizes. So we have some that are upright, some that are really small, some that are really big like Santa in his sleigh, or huge ones like day 25. And then there's just this really cute little hot chocolate down the bottom that says ho ho, and it's so like slimline. We took ages trying to work out what was in that one. Could we guess it? No, of course not. Oh, of course not. Katie is a genius, and this was so much fun. It was such a great surprise and a huge lift for us for Christmas. I really, really enjoyed getting it every day, even though I clearly did not keep up. Clearly. But I'm still enjoying it now. I am hoping to finish this one, maybe not this Christmas, but next Christmas. But then I have to work out how to finish it because I need to work out a finishing that means that I can pack it away really easily, but also bring it out whenever I want to, so that it can go up for Christmas and be a sturdy decoration without taking up too much storage space in my house. But I do like this one. This is stitched 2/2 on a 32 count even weave. This one doesn't actually have a name. It was a mystery cut. I do not know where she came from, but I really love her. I really love her. It's blue and it's got some slight splotches through it of a darker blue that look almost purple as how it's reading on camera. And I think it's just really, really pretty. So I am hoping to get this one done a little bit more. I think I'm gonna have to back stitch up here. She's just not showing on camera for me today. So there may be a lot of back stitching to go. I think I'm gonna have to take a leaf out of Cece's book. If you haven't seen Cece's, they have backstitched around all of their stamps and it looks amazing. The stamps really pop. So I might have to go through and do that as well. You know, if you don't mind me borrowing your inspiration there, Cece, that would be amazing. Our next project is a stitch along that I am doing with a whole heap of you guys because you keep reaching out to tell me where you're up to and I absolutely love that. We've got the Dudley Aquarium. So I am a long way behind. I am still on exhibit 1. Exhibit 2 and 3 have both come out by now. So this side of the tank is pretty full. In exhibit 2, we got some coral and we got a little fishy. And in exhibit 3, which is over here, we got some different colored coral that sort of spikes out and around. And as I'm filming this, in a few days, the next piece comes out. Whoops, I'm a long way behind. That is okay. I still have not finished the frame, as you can see from the sign not being done. This is another piece that I'm hoping to catch up. This is by Lola Crow. And they release once a week. We get a new piece. So it is very, very easy to slip up and be behind on this one. Last year I did her greenhouse. That was my first Lola Crow piece and I just fell in love with it. So as soon as the aquarium got announced, I put money aside and I was just like, I'm getting that. I need that in my life. I am stitching her as a 32 count 2/2, so 2 threads, 1 square. But I'm sure you know what that means by now. I'm sure you know what that means by now, but it's such a habit to try and explain it each time because the people in my in-person life don't understand what that means. So I'm so used to just being like, oh yeah, it means this. Like, here you go. And I'm really, really loving this one as well. This is done on a 32 count fabric from Sew It All Australia called Ocean. And it is another printed fabric. So the back of this one is plain white and the front of this one is this beautiful rich blue, which my friend Amy picked and is just perfect for the aquarium. Look at it. Look at how cute it is. This little seagull. He's so sweet. He's so sweet. He doesn't have a beak yet. I have not done any backstitch on this piece and there's a lot. So I need to get a wriggle on. But I know that even if I am very behind on this, I will still enjoy stitching it. Amy's work, so Amy from Lola Crow, not Amy, my good friend who picked the fabric. Their designs are just phenomenal and they're always really beautiful and they just flow into each other really nicely. So I can't wait to see how all of this pieces together. And yeah. That's where that one's up to. Our second to last piece today, we're almost there you guys, is our Gryffindor crest. So this is where I'm up to. I just have the lion's little tiny snoot. I did this last year during Novels and Needles where we had a video chat. And I started it because I had finished the two of the 3 companion pieces that go with this. I have finished the Slytherin crest and the Ravenclaw crest. And now I am currently working on Gryffindor. I also have Hufflepuff to do, but right now they're just not calling to me, so I haven't been stitching on them lately. It's just not my vibe right now, and that's okay. This one, of course, is stitched 2/2. This is on a 32 count even weave from Sew It All Australia. The color is called Tea Rose, and I just think it's really pretty. It's very gentle, it's very soft, it's very pretty. I love it so much. This is another printed fabric, so you can see here where I've got it folded over because it doesn't quite fit in my Q-snap. Oops. Where the front is colored and the back is white. And I have done, I think this is roughly 2,000 stitches or so. I do have to cross-reference this one. This is one I started on paper charts, so everything else in here has been done on Pattern Keeper, except this guy. This guy was started on a paper chart, and I am going to struggle going back to a paper chart, I think. Just because I have recently gotten very used to using Pattern Keeper. It was a completely new journey for me over the last 12 months, but it's one I've thoroughly enjoyed because I like that you can see everything in that program. Everything, except backstitch. If they had backstitch, it would be absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. But this is from Dashua Stitch. I don't think they sell them anymore. They stopped selling them a few years ago and they took down their Etsy store. But they do have an Instagram account, so you can still find them. If you go through, if you see this in my feeds, they are tagged. I always tag my designers so that you guys can go and find them and give them some love. If it's a project that you're up for, you're thinking about doing, you can have it too. And yeah, that's where he's up to. So I would like to get back to him. I would like to put some more stitches in him, but right now he's just not calling to me. Godric here is very, very quiet, and that's okay. That's okay. I have a lot of things that are trying to invade my brain out of the giant pile that you and I have just been through. So I'm gonna do them first, and then I will come back to him, and then I will pull out Helga and I will work them in tandem. So what I did with the last two that I found really helpful, once I got to 2,000 stitches, I went and found the fabric for the second piece and I started that, and then I would sort of swap them out every couple of weeks. And it just felt really fresh and new and exciting to see how much more I could get done on one versus the other. So I might have to do that, and then I think he will call to me a little bit more. The final piece I have to show you today is my big project. If you've been here before, if you know why I'm excited for July, you already know what this is gonna be. This is my 7-year-long project. This year is gonna be year 5. Say hi to Frogwarts. So this is a piece from the Black Needle Society. Each year a new band comes out. You can see here in my scroll frame at the moment, I've got years 2, 3, and 4 lined up. After I finish filming this video, 4 is gonna get wound all the way up to here, and then I'm going to be ready to start year 5. This year is year 5, of course, the Order of the Phoenix, and I am so excited and so keen. Frogwarts is my favorite time of year, and then I get to hang out with all of my friends. It is an online retreat. For those who don't know what's up, these monstrous numbers of stitches are challenged to you for 2 weeks. Here's your close-up, have a good look. This is what you are to stitch within 2 weeks. So each year a banner comes out, and the challenge call out is, we're gonna have a start party. We're all gonna stitch together. It's gonna be a lot of fun. You have 2 weeks to finish it and get your points. Good luck, students. Good luck. It is doable. You have to really focus on the piece though. I like to make sure that I have everything ready. I in fact keep this particular project on 2 separate pattern keepers. So I have it on my old phone and I have it on my new phone, and I keep it on both so that if something happens and I can't use one, I can use the other. And yes, I am that crazy person that exports their progress every day and overloads it just in case. Because I am paranoid that something's gonna happen and my phone is gonna die in the middle of a challenge, and this way I am covered. I am full of contingency plans for Frogwarts, you best believe. But it is a lot of fun. It is so good. The only problem is that I have to apologize in advance for anyone that's in my chat room, because on day 3, I am quite delusional. But I have been told it's fun. It's because I have suddenly flipped from Australia time to America time, and my brain doesn't know what to do with that. I am also on Team Awake every year, so I try and stay up for the full duration of retreat. I usually get maybe half an hour's worth of sleep each day. I do eat, I look after myself, I go for walks, like I'm good. But I don't sleep very much, which does mean that the delusions kick in and I get a little silly. One year I ended up giggling on the floor for 10 minutes. I had to mute. It was fine. But it is a really, really fun retreat when all is said and done. There's lots of games, lots of challenges, lots of prizes, and of course, a bunch of new friends. Everyone you hang out with is so kind and so fun, and you just get to chat and chat and chat and chat and chat. And there's always someone that's willing to be your stopwatch in a timer, in a challenge. So you can just focus, laser focus on your stitching, get it done. And someone will be like, you've got 5 minutes left, time to wrap up, guys. Don't start a new piece of floss now, like time to cross all your crosses, get them done. But it is a lot of fun and it's just a really supportive environment. And I love Frogwaltz so much because of it. Like Katie and Laura have created the most perfect, safe place. And I just think it's phenomenal just how like giving and chill everyone is. And the fact that, you know, we can talk about anything and everything and everyone's cool. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a place where everyone will encourage each other. It doesn't matter what team you're on. They're all just kind of there. So that is my little rant because I'm getting Frogwaltz excited, you guys. Frogwaltz excited. But yeah, that's everything. My table is an absolute mess. Thank God you can't see it. Thank God you can't see it. Halfway through this video, what you didn't see was me freaking out because one of my piles went bloop and landed on the floor. And then my cat sat on it and I was like, That's why we edit. That's why we edit. The magic of film. You don't get to see me panicking. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so that's all the projects I have at the moment. I am not 100% sure of the number, but I think we're in the 30s. But that's okay. That's okay. We love that. It is definitely a learning experience. I am not sure that I'm going to be able to keep up with 30 WIPs. I feel quite guilty not working on a whole lot of these all the time. So I am very much in camp WIP down for the rest of this year, hoping to eliminate some of my projects. That being said though, I do have a bunch of new starts in my little brain. So I'm going to have to do those too. But they'll be quick ones. So I can start and finish them and they'll just go away. They'll go away. They'll be fine. But I am working my way through the pile. That's the plan. Get a couple finished, get them done. Don't replace them. Keep going, Chloe. Keep going. Stay on track. Stay on track. I have been filming for a very long time. A very, very long time. You have been watching for a very long time. Thank you for staying with me. I'm sorry that I am delulu. So I'm getting to my point where my brain is just not functioning and words are not words and like the hands are coming out. That's when you know Chloe's getting tired. I get very, very expressive with my hands because it starts out down here, right? You can't see that because it's on the table level, but as soon as it comes up here, you know that we're done. You know that we're done. But I do want to say a huge thank you, of course, to everyone that's joined me. And if you've hung around, thank you so much for being here. Let me know downstairs what your favorite projects are, what you guys are working on. I really, really do love hearing from you. I really do. It really makes my day every single time I get to like interact with you guys and I get a new comment. I just love being able to have a chat. If you don't feel comfortable reaching out here, but you do want to talk, as I said, my socials are below as well, so you can always DM me over on Instagram. I'm up for a chat and a new stitchy friend every single day. I am so here for it. I'm here for you. Let's go. Let's go. But until next time, you guys, you stay safe, you be happy, and you craft something beautiful. I will see you again really, really soon. Bye, crafty creators.